I'm often asked about substitutions for homemade dog food recipes, and what it comes down to is you need to be feeding your dog a nutritionally balanced meal that meets all of his nutritional needs. Every dog is different, every dog is unique. The food that your dog eats needs to be based on his age, weight, activity level, underlying health condition, overall health and well-being. So your dog really should be evaluated by a veterinarian or a trained canine nutritionist before you decide to make the switch to homemade food. Once you do make that switch, the expert that you work with will be able to help you create a recipe guideline. So they'll be able to tell you what percent of the recipe should be protein, what percent of the recipe should be carbohydrates, what percent of the recipe should be vitamins and minerals. And they can also tell you, based on your dog's health condition, if there are certain vitamins and minerals that he's going to need more of, if you should be supplementing his diet, or if he can get what he needs from fresh foods. When it comes to the fresh foods that you use, for example, let's talk about protein sources. I have a lot of people that ask, can I substitute ground beef for chicken in a recipe? Of course you can, especially if your dog has an allergy to chicken, or you're looking for a way to use some ground beef that you have, laying around that you want to get rid of. Whatever the case may be, if you have a reason to substitute a protein source, you can absolutely do that. There are some dogs that are allergic to chicken and ground beef. The majority of the recipes out there use more common, cheaper protein sources like that. But if your dog needs venison, bison, fish, a different sort of protein, you can absolutely substitute that. There are also a number of fruits and vegetables that can be used with dog food and homemade dog food recipes that are very safe for dogs. However, just like for humans, these fruits and vegetables all have a different nutritional balance. They all provide different nutrients. So if your dog needs a diet that's high in calcium, you're going to want to find fruits and vegetables that can help to meet that need. If your dog needs a diet that's high in a certain vitamin or maybe a certain mineral, zinc, something like that, you want to find dog-friendly fruits and vegetables that can meet that need. And whether it's a leafy green vegetable, something like broccoli, we make homemade canned vegetables from our garden every year, so you can use those. You can use store-bought frozen, you can use homemade frozen vegetables. There are tons of substitutions that can be made there. You just want to make sure that you're using fruits and vegetables that are meeting your dog's nutritional needs. Now, there are also other things that you can add, different dairy sources. Plain yogurt is a really good additive for dogs. There's tons of great beneficial bacteria in there for pets. Cottage cheese is a good one. Pumpkin is really wonderful. Again, if you have homemade on hand, that's great. But if not, 100% pumpkin from the store. Just make sure it's not the pumpkin pie filling with all those additives. 100% pumpkin. If you can find something that's organic, that's natural, that's great for your dog. So when it comes to homemade dog food, there are many variables. You want to work with an expert to figure out what your dog needs. And you also need to work on your budget. If you don't have access to fresh foods, it's, growing in your garden or whatever you may do at a farmer's market, something like that, it's much more expensive to go to the grocery store and buy a pumpkin and make your own pumpkin puree than it would be to buy this small can of 100% pure pumpkin. So think about your budget, think about your time constraints, and substitutions are absolutely it's something that's very common in dog food recipes. Just be sure to work with an expert. There was actually a recent study done by UC Davis that showed that the majority of homemade dog food recipes, whether they come from the internet or textbooks, whether they were even created from a veterinarian, a lot of recipes that were created by trained veterinarians proved not to be nutritionally balanced for all dogs. When you buy commercial dog food, that's the nice thing. It has to pass those certain tests. You're 100% sure, if it has it on the label, that it meets all the AAFCO standards for adult dogs, puppies, whatever the recipe is for. That's a really great thing about buying commercial. You don't get that guarantee with homemade food, so it's up to you to make sure that you are substituting ingredients that are safe and healthy for your dog. Do your research, talk to an expert, but yes, substitutions for dog food are absolutely doable.